everyone! Today we're gonna go over rumors, thoughts, and assumptions that people have about NYU, basically evaluating how true they are to help you guys get a better impression of what being a student is like at NYU. This is a part 2 video. If you haven't seen part 1, go watch that first. It's the exact same concept, but it's the first part, so I'm going to be addressing different topics in both. Really quick introduction of myself. I'll make it really brief because I introduced myself in the other video and I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing this over and over again. But I just finished freshman year on Wednesday. I officially finished my finals. So yeah, for all you new freshmen who just got admitted, congratulations. I'm the class that was a freshman right before you guys. I'm from the Bay Area, California, born and raised, so I had never really been to New York long term, or even short term really. So I basically never really been to New York until I full on moved there last August to start college. I'm an econ major in the College of Arts and Sciences. All that out of the way, let's get started. Last time I talked about social life. I talked about NYU versus traditional colleges, and I don't even remember what else I talked about. But anyway, I'll link that right down below. I see this site called unigo.com. They're answering what kind of person should not attend this school. The junior said, it takes an adventurous soul to come to New York City and to be immersed in unique cultures both inside and outside of the classroom. I think the person should have thick skin to endure city life. No scaredy cats allowed. You kind of do have to develop tough skin when you're there and be a little bit street smart. I literally have like no sense of street smartness. I grew up in like this suburb in the Bay Area, really nice and everything's really safe. But in New York, obviously that's not the case at all. It is a big city and it can be dangerous, especially because NYU is not a closed campus. NYU takes a lot of measures to ensure the students' safety. They have like an NYU public safety app, I think, and I don't even have it, so I don't know what features they have, but you guys can check that out. One of the features is calling like an NYU Safe Ride. Allow you to call like an NYU bus or shuttle to pick you up from like anywhere and take you anywhere basically. And I'm pretty sure that's available at any hour during the night. Additionally, they have a lot of like undercover and covered public safety officers around campus, mainly Washington Square Park. So they just try to keep it safe. And another thing is NYU's so strict on security, like literally to you. Like they will treat you, when you're trying to get into a building, they'll treat you like you're some like suspicious person like trying to break in when you literally are wearing like an NYU hoodie and just have a backpack full of like books. So basically with that, you have to bring your ID card literally everywhere because most security people, like I've met a few nice ones, but most of them will give you a really hard time if you don't bring your student ID. And you need your student ID to get into every single building, every class, library, everything. And if you don't have it, you gotta like show them some kind of thing, but they'll probably give you some sass for it. The buildings are really safe inside because there's security in every kind of building. When you're not on campus or it's not school hours, you do have to be a little bit extra careful for your own safety, especially taking the subway, going to other parts of New York. Greenwich Village is generally safer, but as you go kind of up to Upper Manhattan, it's gonna get less safe usually. So just be really careful. Maybe like install something on your phone just for safety measures. General rule of thumb, don't go anywhere alone at night. Just try not to go out too late at night if you can. Try to be extra aware of your surroundings and always have your phone charged. Because if you get in a bad situation and you don't have a phone, that's bad. I have been there before. It ended weirdly. Trust me, you guys don't want to be like me. If you want to be extra safe, tell someone, like your roommate, your close friend, wherever. Tell them like where you're gonna be if you know you're gonna be somewhere late at night so that they can like watch out for you or check on you or like make sure that you come home. So as for the thick skin part, I feel like I did not have thick skin. Growing up in the Bay Area, the weather is like constantly between 60 and 80 degrees. Everything's very controlled and safe and mild. New York, on the other hand, you're gonna probably experience a lot of things that you haven't experienced before. I mean, it's not as dramatic as I'm making it sound, honestly. I feel like the main things for me is that I wasn't used to the cold, and that made a really big impact on me. because like I just couldn't function after a while. Like, I know it sounds dramatic because it's just the weather, but I ended up getting the flu during my finals. I was the total cheerleader for New York when I was going there. Now, I'm still so excited to go back to New York, but I'm a little bit scared of facing things. But as Myra says, no scaredy cats allowed. So if you're scared, you gotta just toughen up, I guess, and keep getting through it. And you definitely will over time. You'll definitely get used to it. But I think that's why there's like a phrase like the real New Yorkers. New York is fast-paced. It's gonna give you a hard time sometimes, but you just gotta learn through time and experience on how to deal with city life. So everyone in my town is like so nice and, I don't know, polite. And that's not the case in New York. You'll meet people who are rude for no reason, and that's just how it is. It's not personal. So you gotta develop thick skin for that too. So when I was going to New York, I heard that like people in New York are really rude. Like, that's a rumor that I heard. And I kind of did notice that, but I also took note for every randomly rude person, there's also someone who's like so nice. So it's not just like a one-way thing. New York is so diverse. It literally has like everything. So just don't be scared that like there's not gonna be enough of like something, if that makes sense, even if there's the presence of the opposite thing. I don't know if that made any sense. I really hope it did. It's gonna be something that you're gonna have to deal with. But you know what? Like, everyone in your grade is dealing with it too. You guys are all freshmen. Like, if anything, you guys can just bond over it and talk about it. All right. Priyanka, who's a freshman, says about stepping outside their comfort zone, making efforts to meet new people, developing connections with city members, and absorbing everything you have to offer. So, I mean, this is just a general statement, I guess. I kind of talked about this a lot in the first video. It's just like, yes, you have to push yourself to be socially outgoing and kind of step outside of your comfort zone in like a lot of ways. Honestly, if you guys are going to NYU, I really encourage you guys to step out of your comfort zone, because in 1 or 2 years you can look back and see how much you've grown as a person, and how college for you isn't just about the social life or the academic life, but it's about self-growth and like learning more about yourself and experiencing more about the world. Casey, who's a sophomore, says someone unwilling to be self-reliant shouldn't consider NYU. This is definitely true. I mean, as for any college, you do have to step it up, because when you enter high school, you're just a kid. You probably rely on your parents to do a lot of the things for you. Kind of as you grow older, and especially when you get into college, you start nearing adulthood and you start to be expected to do things for yourself and on your own, and just be responsible basically for your health, for your school, for your overall success. You just gotta be extra aware of yourself and know how to take care of yourself. I'm sure you know that. I'm sure like most college people do that anyway. Jacob says New York City is one of the most liberal and unique cities on the planet, and NYU incorporates this atmosphere into the university itself. There are students from almost every country around the world with all different ideas, cultures, and characteristics. If someone isn't willing to live and learn from these different people, they should not attend NYU. For sure. So I haven't run into a single one of these which I don't agree with, so you guys can check out the site. Yes, NYU is incredibly diverse, has so many international students, has people from literally all around the world. In general, I think people are very expressive and, yes, liberal, which I was gonna talk about in the last video, but as I was editing, I realized I didn't really say anything significant about it. And that's because I didn't realize quite how liberal NYU is, because I'm from the Bay Area in California, which is already very liberal. But if you're coming from somewhere that's not very liberal, how many times am I going to say the word liberal? Get ready, because it is very liberal. Carla, who is a freshman, says, basically you shouldn't attend NYU if you're not planning on taking school seriously. NYU is clearly not an Ivy, but it is up there in terms of nationwide colleges, universities. And let me just say, my high school was quote-unquote competitive and supposedly really good for preparing you for college. And NYU is supposedly not like known for being academically difficult. And it obviously depends on like what major or program you're in. But let me just say, first semester school kicked my ass. That's not just because of the academic rigor, like it's not because it was too hard. It was also like a mixture of that plus the fact that I pretty much never made it to my 8 a.m.s and that I just wasn't very on my shit. Even this semester when I was like, alright, I gotta pick it up, I gotta make up for last semester, even then, when I tried to take quote-unquote easier classes, it was still hard. That's just college for you. It's definitely a level up from high school. I think that the standards are higher and you have like a lot more room to mess up. In high school, everything's under control. You know, you have to go to school every day or else you get like a cut or whatever. But in college, it's like you literally don't have to go to class. So like potentially you could like not go to class for the whole quarter and then the midterm comes around. Okay, maybe that's just me. Okay, so academics, challenging but obviously doable. The more you are able to stay organized and responsible, the less challenging it will be, probably. Suzanne, who's a freshman, says, if you're not ready to be wrong, to make a mistake, or to be challenged, to rethink your college ideal, don't bother going to NYU. I thought I wouldn't mind a non-traditional campus, a huge student body, and the bustling city, but I was wrong. NYU has proven brochures and tours don't show you everything. Some students can't handle the idea that they've picked the wrong school, but it does happen. And your readiness to accept this and make the best of it could determine how awesome or dreadful freshman year will be. Dang, I think that this is a really interesting response because I know what she's talking about. Some people that I've met, and I don't want to say this to scare you, they feel like maybe NYU isn't the right school for them. If you've never been to New York or lived in New York, what your vision, what you have in mind of your dream like life in college in New York is probably not what it's gonna be like exactly. So I realized this after like a semester. New York is really glamorized, I hope that's a word, in the media and online. So tours and brochures don't show you everything. The NYU site and videos probably don't show you anything, but I mean, that's expected, right? They're just gonna try to hype you up, take your money, etc. Nothing's perfect in this world, and NYU is just like that too. It's not perfect. Being in New York, it has its ups and downs. So basically, if you have like really high expectations, just know that maybe not all of those will be met when you go to New York, and that's totally fine because even the bad parts are also part of the experience. As if you're not ready to be wrong, to make a mistake or be challenged, to rethink your college ideal, don't bother going to NYU. I'd say if you're going to NYU, just be sure to have a very open and accepting mind. Okay, so College Confidential has a thread saying, NYU students, do you like it? So someone says, yes, I love it. Probably the best adjective to describe the type of person who loves NYU is independent. You need to not be homesick and be able to adapt, sometimes in cold surroundings. You have concrete surrounding you every day, no rolling hills. Imagine waking up in the morning to fire trucks, not birds, and stepping outside for your 8 a.m. class onto cold pavement, not freshly cut grass. So this is oddly specific, but I like it because it's kind of like addressing people who are going from suburbs to NYU, which I'm sure is a lot of you. I'm not really going to speak too much on top of what I Heart New York 08 says because I think his response pretty much captures the whole point. It's just New York for the good and the bad. Pretty much every post talks about the pace, the lifestyle, and the like independence that like goes into the NYU experience. But at this point, I'm reading through a few more web search results, and a lot of the responses that I'm reading are starting to get redundant, and they're all kind of touching upon topics that we've discussed between this video and the first video. So I think I'm probably gonna wrap it up, but I just saw one more person say that it's incredibly difficult to generalize life at such a unique school as NYU. That's a really good point because these videos are outlining what you need to know about the environment that you're going into. However, your life is going to become a product of how you learn to manage and deal with those things. I've had a few comments in my other video being like a little bit worried about social life. For all you guys who are worried about social life, for example, or any other aspect of New York, let me just give you guys some quick advice. If you're thinking about NYU, do your research, just know all the pros and cons so that you kind of have a general idea of what you're walking into and whether it's worth it or not. And for all you guys who are committed and basically just trying to like get an idea of what your life will be like once you go there, let me just say your life will amount to what you make it to be. I hate to sound like some inspirational speaker or whatever. if you're socially outgoing and continue to like reach out to new people and follow up with new plans and seek all these new opportunities, then you won't find social life to be a problem. If you're developing like a good routine to like take care of yourself, both mentally and physically, then you'll probably be just fine in dealing with all the ups and downs of New York. So yeah, I hope you guys get my point that all these conditions are there, but it doesn't necessarily mean that those conditions will define your experience at all, because at the end of the day, you guys are the ones that define what your college experience is like at NYU. I really hope that this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop it in the comments below. You guys can send me a message through Instagram too if there's something that you guys want to talk about, and hopefully I can see you guys in the fall.